What's
Take it away.
What's up, guys? I'm Nicholas Olson, and this is my brother Brandon Olson. And today we're starting a channel about entrepreneurship, design, programming, business, co-working.
Yeah, you name it.
You name it. And so we want to start this channel to share our story with you guys, share what we know, how we got started, answering questions, getting into details about all kinds of things relating to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, the stuff we're doing. A lot of you follow Nicholas and want to know how he got here and what the story is behind it. And this is the channel where we're going to be talking about the nitty-gritties of what we've done to get here and where we're going and sort of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Specifically in the creative field, but now we're sort of branching out into all kinds of things that every time we see a new need, we're just like, okay, let's try that. So we're kind of just making it up as we go.
Yeah.
So maybe, do you want to start with your story? Because they know you, and then I'll introduce my story and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I'm a programmer, and I started an Instagram when I kind of started doing my professional career in development and design, called Full Stack Developer. So that's where a bunch of you might know me from. So, I started out. Me and Brandon obviously grew up together. We're brothers. But we've always been good at like artistic things. Art, it just has been a natural gifting. So when I was going off to like school, I was like, I need education. What am I gonna do? I was like, I had taken one computer course in high school, and I was like, I did really well. I'm like, okay, so I'm good with computers and I can do art. What do you naturally think? I'm like, all right, graphic design. So I kind of take a hybrid course in college, interactive media. So we did everything from 3D design and animation, graphic design, web development, creative programming, photography, videography, just a slew of things. Yeah, everything. So I took that course. I loved it. I love that I was able to learn so many different fields. I focused in on graphic design heading out. So I got a job as a junior graphic designer at a marketing agency in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Because we're both Canadians. We've grown up in Ontario.
For those of you who don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm also, I guess I should mention, I'm 25 and Brandon's 27, so...
28.
28. That just happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Side note. But yeah, so I started off as a graphic designer for a marketing agency. Did that for a year. Our programmer quit, and they were like, "Hey, Nick, you program?
You've programmed."
That's better. You've programmed. Would you like the position? And I was like, I'm a strong believer in jumping in over your head and learning how to swim. So I was like, absolutely, let's do this. And
they didn't know he couldn't swim.
Nope. But I'm a quick learner, so.
Do you want to join the Canadian Olympic team? You know how to swim, right?
Yes.
Yes. I took a lesson
3 years ago. Anyway. Yeah. So I took the position. I was able to be a quick study and
learn on the fly.
Learn on the fly. Yeah. A lot of YouTube and a lot of online tutorials. Just endless. Yeah. The whole thing. So I did that for a year and did pretty good. And then a software company approached me and they're like, "Hey, you do
you program, right?
You've programmed. You've programmed. That's the story of my life. You've programmed." Yes, but they're like, "You've programmed and you do design. How would you like to lead our front end?" And I was like, "Sure." Yeah. I was like, I told them point blank this time. I was like, I have never done software development, and they're like, "That's fine. Like, we'll train you. You've clearly got like a good understanding." Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. And I did that for a year. Loved it. And in that time, me and Brandon started a creative company called Tapa Creative. And going into that, I had told him, I was like, hey, you guys, like, I'll do you a friend and we'll redo it. But I have started a company. I'm going to be leaving to do that. So they were great about it. They're amazing company. And so I quit. I moved down to Southern Ontario here to be near my brother to really ramp up the business. So that's kind of where our paths merged back together, because Brandon can tell you a story, but he moved away from me and then I followed him, so he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Just let him know.
So same thing. We started off together, so that part's the same, where Nicholas and I do stuff together. Like, I always tell this story because it like sets the stage for the entire thing. But like, Nicholas and I used to draw pictures when he was like 3 and I was like 6, and I remember thinking, oh, if I draw like 1,000 pictures and sell them at 10 cents a piece, it's like $100, right?
Yeah. Entrepreneur
like
start.
Literally doing that math.
Yeah.
And then doing the work. I was like, Nicholas, let's go. I specifically remember drawing like an Eiffel Tower and like a dog, and we'd go around town in our little Fisher-Price wagon, the green Fisher-Price wagon, and selling them to all of our neighbors. And then we'd come home and Grandma and Grandpa would buy all of them for like $5, and we were like, $5 that works. Yeah. That works. We swing deals. Anyway, so that kind of sets the stage. Then in high school, I wrote a couple business plans and like sort of, same thing. The graphic design, I ran and designed the entire like yearbook that I was in grade 12 when I was the editor. We came from a small school, so it's not that ridiculous, but it is kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
So that kind of, and just like set the stage for what I wanted to do as well. So after school, I did a year of discipleship school in Winnipeg, or in Winkler, Manitoba. So I did a year there, and then I was like, hey, I want to go into graphic design. What's a good school? Alberta College of Art and Design in Calgary seemed like a good fit. So I went there for a year, and then I mean, this is the story of my life again. Artist, entrepreneur. So I went to school there for a year, and then I was like, oh, it's taking too long. I want to do business, right? So I switched schools, moved to Toronto to take a year of school at Tyndale University for business administration, and then that got expensive. So then I moved back to Alberta, only further north, Grand Prairie, to work in the oil fields. Killed it in the oil fields, but before I went out there, I met my wife Emily, so I moved back, worked a couple of jobs. I started a window cleaning business at that point, or that summer, and then I went to work for a telecommunications company, and so across the country, a job, and then she finished her degree in history while I worked programming radios. Broadband radios, and then when she was done that, we found out that we were pregnant, first child, so we moved back here to St. Thomas, Ontario, where her family's from, and we had our precious daughter Eleanor, and then I got a job here working the night shift at a steel factory, obviously, because that lines up with everything else I've done in my life. And then so I worked the night shift, doing that for a year. And then that's when we started Tapa Creative, and because so now that we're merging stories here, Patrick, our brother-in-law, who also runs the company with us, lives in Winnipeg. Nicholas is at Winnipeg at that point, and Patrick's like, "Hey, Nicholas, if you want to freelance, I'll run your books."
And that was really when I left the marketing agency when I did year of graphic design, year of development. I was like, "Hey, you know what? I want to strike out and do this on my own. I feel like I can do this on my own," which is pretty lofty at the time, but
at that point you were running the entire marketing agency's web development, which is kind of sketchy for them, right?
To have one guy do
to have one guy who's learning everything from Udemy and YouTube, right? Selling $15,000 websites, right? Like it's crazy for them.
It's crazy.
I mean, they did it.
And I did a good job.
That's what I'm saying. But you did it for like a year.
Yeah.
You like built websites that they were selling, and they weren't getting major complaints back about, right? Like, so it made sense that you wanted to do it on your own, and that you were
had the capability. Exactly.
You were capable.
So I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I want to go on my own. And I was talking to my brother-in-law about it, Patrick, and he's like, hey man, like, how about I'll run your books for you. You go out and get the clients. You do
do it,
and I'll help you run the business side, because I know that's like, he's a numbers guy. He's an amazing numbers guy. Man. So I was like, yes, let's do it. We're going. Like, let's get it. Exactly.
And then I kind of heard wind of it, because Nicholas and I had started Olsen & Olsen Company like 3 years before that.
Yeah.
When I was living in Toronto, doing schooling and whatever.
Yeah. It was just a little premature.
Well, premature, but it was lacking Patrick.
Yeah.
We'd started it, and I kind of have the business drive. Nicholas has the skill set we needed, but I didn't have the sort of two things. I didn't have the drive / skill set to run the numbers. I didn't want to. I avoided it. I didn't like it. Not that I couldn't, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And that was enough to just kill the thing. So then when Patrick was like, hey, Nicholas, I'll run your numbers, I was like, hey, that solves the problem with our last company.
Yeah.
How about you bring me into this, and we make this a sweet package deal. And then and what that did was we had discussions then with all five of us. So Emily, my wife, Erin, our sister, who's Patrick's wife, all got together and said, hey, look at this beautiful skill set. Nicholas has the development and the technical skills. I've got creative skills / entrepreneur, like the drive to like make the company work. Patrick's got the numbers skills. And then we went, like, the lights turned on. We were like, Emily has content writing. I mean, she did a history degree, and she's like excellent. I mean, she's already been doing it for a couple of years. Content writing, freelance content writing. So she's already been doing web development content. And then Erin has education in communications. And so we were like, so just run our social medias and our, like, she's already got the skill set for it. So we just went like, oh my gosh, we have this A team. Let's meet up on a weekly basis and run our company. So it started out, Nicholas was actually in Winnipeg, and Erin and Patrick were in Winnipeg, and Emily and I were here in St. Thomas. But the magic really happens when, obviously, Nicholas and I are together. Like, that's when the creative sparks start flying and we start making cool things happen. So we started Tapa in 2015, I believe. Yes.
Yep.
And because it's the same.
You guys had come down to visit just for the summer. You came down to visit, go camping, that kind of thing. And that's when all three of us signed off on the partnership, I think.
No, it's 2016. Yeah. Eleanor was born in end of 2015, and we had already had Eleanor.
Oh, okay.
So it was 2016, June 2016, because June 2017 was last year. June 2018 was our 2-year anniversary this year.
Right.
Yeah. So 2016, June 2016, and then by October, we had pressured Nicholas enough, and he talked to his company, and they were like, "You got 2 weeks." Go. See you later.
Yeah,
Nicholas was just like, Nicholas was going to have a friendly conversation.
Yeah, this is a fun story. Yeah.
Do it.
This is a fun story. So we had got to this point. We had just visited Brandon and did I come down? I think I came and visited. I flew down just to visit.
In the spring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I had gone back and I was just talking with Brandon over the phone. And he's like, dude, just set up an appointment with your boss. Just go have lunch. Talk about this. He already knows you have a business. Just talk about it. I'm like, all right, man. I gotta do it.
It was fall, actually. Yeah, you came down in the fall, and then I was pressuring you. Like, nope. We went up. We built Dad's roof.
Yeah.
At Mom and Dad's house.
Yeah.
In June.
Yeah.
Was it in June? No. Because 2 weeks later you moved.
No, not at. Well, I didn't talk to him right after that. It was a little bit. There was some time there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But so anyway, he had told me, he's like, dude, just go talk to your boss. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey Nick, because that's my boss's name. I was like, hey Nick, can we go for lunch? Can we go for lunch? I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. And he's an amazing guy. He was like, yeah, for sure, let's go. So I sit down with him. I'm like, hey, so like my company, like Tapa, we're taking off, and I just want to talk to you about like my exit plan. And he's like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it would be a natural break. It would be good. Like, we're finishing up this, and then, you know, we can like let you go, and you can go out and, you know,
you can get unemployment. So that's your like run rate.
Yeah, exactly.
For starting this.
Yeah, and I was like what? 2 weeks? Like, I was thinking, you know, a couple months, you know, maybe we'll see how it goes.
Nicholas calls me up. Hey, Brandon, I'm moving.
I was like, he's like, Nick looked at me, he's like, you can call your brother and tell him it's happening. So it's like, bro, it's happening, get ready. Do you have a room for me?
And I did.
So I literally quit my salary with benefits job, packed up everything I owned out of this house that I had just got, and put it in a 12-foot trailer. I had just bought a truck, so that worked out. Hooked up the truck and drove 30 hours out here, said goodbye to everyone. Actually, I left so quick I didn't even have a goodbye party. So, peace. Yeah, peace. If that's not a testament to sometimes in entrepreneurship, and I'm not suffering, I'm just saying sometimes you gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not all just things rolling and happening. Sometimes you gotta make some huge leaps. But yeah, it's a fun story because it's crazy, but like I love it.
And testament to when you have nothing to lose.
And you had nothing.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
So anyway, we started Tapa Creative. That's how we got started, and we've been rolling along ever since. But we were working out of this guy's house now.
I'll just catch my story up from there. So we started Tapa Creative 2016 June. I'd been working a year on night shift at the steel factory when we decided to start it. And I was like, okay, like I was just trying to work during the day when I was with family, and it was really difficult in the house. Nicholas can attest to that as of October, but you know, even through the summer there was like, we'd had one client, we were looking at getting a grant, but then we were like, oh, we have to do assign one client, and then like, because there was some hoops to jump through for the grant, so the startup grant, so we were like, you know, let's just get a client, let's just go. Yeah. So we already had a client primed, so we jumped on that opportunity. It was more than the grant was worth, so we were just like, okay, good, let's buy a bunch of equipment. Yeah. We literally paid for almost all of our equipment on our first project. Yeah. And so we were like literally break even already with all of our stuff.
Oh yeah, and we both got brand new Macs, so
yeah. So we were like, okay, sweet, let's roll. And we had nothing to lose, right? Because we still had full-time jobs, which is cool, but which meant that we had to hustle though, because we had 9-to-5s, and then we had stuff to do.
We had 9-to-5s, and then we had 5-to-9s.
Yeah. So eventually I was like, what I found worked best, which is crazy, is when I would come home from work at 3:30 a.m. because I'd go to work for 4 p.m. I'd come home at 3:30 when Emily and Eleanor were asleep, and I would work from 3:30 till like 5:30, 6 o'clock every night, doing design and like working on projects. And that was sort of, but it was crazy and it was killing me on the night shift. But we did it anyway, and then Nicholas moved down, and did I quit? But
no, you had already been done for a couple months. 2 months.
Right.
3 months. Yeah.
Because I got let go. Yeah. So I worked this deal. That's right. Oh, that's full time. So we actually started before that. We started like June's my anniversary for when I went in full time.
Yeah, when you went in full time. Yeah.
Sorry,
But anyway.
it's getting muddled. But anyway, so long story short, just sort of wrap this up with me because we're hitting our 20-minute mark here, which is kind of what we want to keep these episodes to. Working the night shift, you guys heard all that craziness.
Yeah.
I got let go from that job for being a health and safety hazard.
Whack. Don't
Yeah. It's fine. It's great.
now.
I'm actually happy.
Yeah.
So happy because I'm doing what I like. I don't ever feel like I have to go. I love it. Since I've been let go and I've been doing my own thing, I thought about having to go. Like there's been ups and downs with the business, where you're like, oh, are we gonna get paid? And then, but and then we're killing it, right? And then we're just like, whoa. But I thought, and then in those low moments, I've been like, oh, do I have to get a job?
Yeah.
Do I have to go back and get a job? And then it just kills me inside. It literally, I die. There's a ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm like a bird in a cage. It's just absolute brutal. So anyway, that being said, I will never go back to a job. I love working my own passions.
Yeah.
I will be poor before I go back to a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of that's how this. So I got let go.
Yeah.
Jumped into the business full time in June.
Yeah.
We were giving her Nicholas in October.
I come down,
and
we're working out of the front of Brandon to turn the front of the house into a nice office.
Yep.
But we were just finding that we were cramped. We were pinched in here. Like it's too muddled with, when you're working next to your bed and when you're you live and you work in the same space, it's just too much. Yeah. And we were like, Kate, we need to find office space. But everything here was 1, 2, 3 year leases and, paying,
$500-600 a month for just a small
office, and that's just small. So we're like, hey, that's
well, it wasn't really an option. We didn't want the risk because a year-long lease at $500 a month, $6,000, and we were like, if we don't make it, we don't want to have this looming over our heads. So
yeah. And what if we expand too?
Right.
Like we're stuck with this tiny tube thing. We can't get another person. So anyway, there was we were just finding a lot of problems with it, and then
so then I met up with a great friend now, Jamie Dodds, who is a commercial realtor at that point. That's the entrepreneur life. You switch careers every several months. And he was like, dude, you got to do a co-work. And we checked it a couple places, and then I went, okay, you do your groundwork, I'll do mine. I'm going to go home, build a website telling everyone we're doing this, and then do some promotional material.
Again, going to the jump in before...
well, and not even, but test. This time it was a bit of a test.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted, before we just built a co-work and saw if everyone came, we went, let's pretend to build a co-work and see if everyone wants to come.
Yeah, exactly. So
we built a website in 2 days. I was like, hey, Nicholas, can you build this? And Nicholas was like, yeah, sure. And so we threw up the website, and then another good friend of ours, Scott, introduced our idea to Matt McLennan of Arc Property Group, and he was like, I got a cool spot, come check it out. Literally showed me the atrium in raw form. We'll have to show you some pictures sometime.
Yeah.
And I immediately saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, this year, plant wall, blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, let's do it. And Matt was like, perfect, I'll start building. Yeah. It was literally I get possession in a month and we'll do it, and we'll have you in there by July. Literally, we started talking about the idea end of February, and by July 1st, we'd open the business.
Yeah.
So it was just and that solved it solves all of our office problems. So, there's no leases here, it's month to month, and there's just flexible options. There's this workspace you need to run a business. We've got conference rooms, meeting rooms.
And on top of all that, it's an unreal space to be in.
The design is incredible. Yeah, the design's awesome.
Raw steel, lumber everywhere, cool
plant wall,
incandescent
waterfall
lights.
The Edison lights.
Edison lights, yeah.
So anyway, that it didn't just solve the need, it blew our wildest dreams.
Exactly.
We're in here.
And that's really the core of entrepreneurship. People ask how do you come up with business ideas, or application ideas, or all these different types of business ideas, and it's just solving a problem. we had a problem with the structure of leases and looking for office space. We solved that problem for ourselves and a lot of other people, because generally, if it's a problem that you're having, somebody else has had that problem before.
There's a cluster of people who have that problem.
Exactly.
If you're just coming up with an idea that you think is good, you have to sell it. When you're solving a need, you have this vacuum, right, where you're like, you attract all the people who also need that. You're not out there there's people looking for that solution, not you trying to sell people on an idea. Yeah. And so you have this primed market
that
already.
It's
primed market.
When you fill that need, people want to have that problem
that's the
taken
solution.
away.
Yeah,
and that's the value in it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and that's what we've been doing with this. That's what we've been doing with like ClickCode. We can get into that a bit later. But some software I'm developing for web development, solving a bunch of problems that I was having. And we can go into our story about more.
Oh yeah. Well,
there's a lot more to.
We shot this episode last week. And it was too random. It was too random. But there was a lot of stories that I told in that last one where I'm like, oh man, I feel like that would benefit people.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna keep talking.
Yep.
Once a week, every Monday, for 20 minutes, half hour, and just share with you sort of what we're up to business-wise. So now you kind of know our story a little bit. There's more to it, but if you have any questions, like seriously, email us. Let us know. We'd be glad.
Leave comments.
We'd be glad to chat with you guys.
Like the vid, share it, and we'll happily tell you more about our story, and through telling our story, hopefully give advice, pointers, details on how we started and what we're doing on specifics.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to be just whitewash advice.
No. I like that's the point, is to let you guys into the details of what we're doing. I'm always interested in and this is an important part, and we can kind of share other things with you as we go. I just keep talking. Every time I say more things, I'm like, oh, this is a good business idea that you guys should know. But like mentors, right? And this is an opportunity for us to be able to share with you guys. And I don't say that I'm an expert or whatever, but I have learned a thing or two about shooting from the hip. Right, like we're kind of cowboys in the entrepreneurship world, and so I think it would be like, I kind of try and have mentors in different levels and peers, and maybe you can consider us a peer as more than a mentor. But like a mentor, I've got a couple of like guys who've made it, and then I've got a couple of guys who are like running, like who have made it and are done, and then I got a couple of guys who are like living it. And then I've got a couple of guys who are like in the thick of it with us at the bottom. And so you maybe consider us one of those. So feel free to contact us about whatever.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Awesome. Right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Again, like the video, share it. We'll be putting our contact information in the comments below. You can check us out at tapacreative.com, as well as workattheatrium.com,
as well as fullstackdeveloper.com, as well as clickcode.com.
And clickcodeapp.com.
App.com.
So, sweet. I think that's all the shot.
That's great.
That's all.
Like and share.
Like and share. All right. See you guys next week.